Listen to the following words and try to see if you can figure out what they mean. Kat, banaan, chocolade, muziek. Kat means cat. Banaan means banana. Chocolade means chocolate. And muziek means music. Although Dutch doesn't look and sound very much like English, both are West Germanic languages with from time to time a lot of similarities. So instead of flooding you directly with all kinds of complex grammar, let's just start with trying to say some basic things in Dutch. The word for the in Dutch, as in the house, is de. De. Pronounced as de. So not da, not de, not die, not de. No, we say de. So if we take one of the words we just looked at, how do you say the cat? De kat. De kat. For the other words, it would be de banaan, de chocolade, de muziek. In Dutch, I have is ik heb. Ik heb. Ik is I, heb is have. How do you say I have the cat? Ik heb de kat. Ik heb de kat. Note that the word heb comes from hebben. Hebben is the verb. It means to have. You will notice that practically all verbs in Dutch end with n. These are infinitives. For instance, work in Dutch is werk. Werk. To work in Dutch, as in the complete verb to work, is werken. Werken. If I say I work, I don't say ik werken. If I did, it would be I to work. And that just doesn't sound right. Like we did with I have the cat, ik heb de kat, we use the short version, heb, so not hebben. We remove the n from the verb when we say I do something. Given that to work is werken, how would you say I work? Ik werk. Ik werk. Look at these verbs and place them in the I form. Fietsen, drinken, lachen. The first one is ik fiets. Ik fiets. Fietsen means to cycle, as in ride your bike. Pronounced as fietsen, not fietsen or something like that. No, fietsen. An important word because riding a bike is a very common thing in Holland. The second one is ik drink. Ik drink. Obviously, it has the same meaning as it does in English. Okay, the last one is kind of tricky. The word is pronounced lachen. Lachen. So not lechen, lekken, or lachen, but lachen with a ch. It means to laugh. Lachen, to laugh. I laugh is ik lach. Ik lach. And this rule applies to nearly all the verbs. Of course, there are irregular verbs and exceptions, but don't worry about those for now. Now we're going to learn some small words. It would be good if you write these down, so you can look at them later on. The first one is easy. In, which means exactly the same in Dutch as it does in English. So, in. The second word is to, which in Dutch is naar. Naar. Not naar, not near, but naar. And this is as in location, so naar de kat, to the cat. The third word is winkel. Winkel. And winkel means store. And store in this context is like shop, not like to save something. So winkel is store, shop. And finally, we're going to say I go, which in Dutch is ik ga. Ik ga. Not ik ka, but ik ga. How do you say I work in the store? Ik werk in de winkel. Ik werk in de winkel. And how do you say the chocolate in the store? De chocolade in de winkel. De chocolade in de winkel. How do you say I go to the store? Ik ga naar de winkel. Ik ga naar de winkel. In Dutch, you is jij. Jij. Notice the pronunciation. Jij. Whenever you see the letter I and J next to each other, it is pronounced I. So you in Dutch is jij. So I in Dutch is ik, you is jij. If we say I do something, for example, I work, we learn that it's ik werk. When we say you work, we don't say jij werk. If we are using the you form, we have to add a T to the verb. So, jij werkt. Jij fietst. Jij lacht. So, given that fact, how do we say you work in the store? Jij werkt in de winkel. Jij werkt in de winkel. How do you say I work, you laugh? Ik werk, jij lacht. Ik werk, jij lacht. The same rule applies when we are talking about he, she, or it. So for he works, we would also use werkt if we are using the verb werken. And the words for he and she are hij, zij. So how do you say he works, you work? He works, you work. Hij werkt, jij werkt. Hij werkt, jij werkt. So in both forms we add the T to the verb when we are talking about him and when we are talking about you. He and you. Hij werkt, jij werkt. And the word for it in Dutch, it, is het. Het. And the same rule applies with the T. So it works in Dutch is het werkt. Het werkt. So how would you say the music works? And remember, music is muziek. Muziek. So the sentence is the music works. De muziek werkt. In this sentence, the music stands for it. It's a thing, not a person. So it works. De muziek werkt. So far we can summarize it like this. Ik werk, jij werkt, hij, zij or het werkt. The Dutch word for we is wij. Wij. And again, notice the I pronunciation. If we want to say we work, we use the full verb, which is werken. So, wij werken. Wij werken. So the infinitive, in this case werken, is used when we are talking in plural to multiple persons. So, how do you say we work in the store? Wij werken in de winkel. Wij werken in de winkel. And how do you say we laugh? We laugh. Wij lachen. Wij lachen. Let's summarize again real quickly. If we take the verb werken, we see the following structure. Ik werk, jij werkt, hij, zij or het werkt, wij werken. Two forms I'm missing here, and that's you, plural, and they. Now, you in Dutch, if we are talking plural, so more than one person, is jullie. Jullie. Not jolly, but jullie. And the other missing form is they. In Dutch, they is zij. Zij. And notice how zij is the same as she. So we use zij for both she and they. With both forms, jullie and zij, we apply the same rules as we do for we, which is wij. Remember? We take the full verb and we don't do anything with it. So really easy. For example, you work in plural is jullie werken. And for they work, it's zij werken. So have a look at all forms we learned so far. Ik werk, jij werkt, hij, zij or het werkt. Wij werken, jullie werken, and zij werken. How do you say you work in the store when we are talking to a group of people and not just one person? You work in the store. Jullie werken in de winkel. Jullie werken in de winkel. How do you say we work in the store while he laughs? We work in the store while he laughs. And the word for while is terwijl. Terwijl. So we work in the store while he laughs. Wij werken in de winkel terwijl hij lacht. Wij werken in de winkel terwijl hij lacht. So that's all for lesson 1. We learned some basic words and we had an introduction to verbs and the use of verbs in different forms. Lastly, I would like to say thanks for watching. So thank you. Bedankt!